Good afternoon. So imagine this, a last minute adventure comes together. We're going to tow foil an empty spot. And with Jeff Clark on the ski, you know you're going to get whipped in at the right place. And then your choice is the big familiar gear that you always ride or the tow foil that's in the boat. Danton opted for his familiar setup, bigger subfoil board and a bigger 1,000 size foil, and he makes it work. He's got it dialed. He's been out and stuff this big before, so he chose to do that. I mean, what would you choose? It's always a catch-22 with foiling, where the smaller the waves are, the bigger the gear. And then when it's this size, most people tend to go with a tow setup and a tiny foil, and then the challenge of how do you navigate stuff like this? I mean, the bigger board makes it easy to get up and going. And then if we pair it with the tiny, bigger wave, high-speed foil, it becomes super unstable and wobbly, especially if we try to do turns. And it's a challenge. And I have much respect for anyone who takes it on, and then we add the kelp into the mix and go down. And for me, the biggest, gnarliest factor of foiling in anything of size is when we do wipe out, trying to get away from the board, not getting run over by a high-speed craft coming right at us and getting clear. And, so it adds to the excitement. This area's population, 8 million. There are tons of days and spots when it can feel so crowded and overwhelmed. And yet, a stone's throw away, you can have perfectly empty waves, wave after wave. No one around, no one cares, no one wants it. I mean, that's the dream of the foil, to be able to ride the unrideable, to expand the terrain. Look at the size of the area. No one's around. And it's like this all the time. There are tons of spots all over this area. No one wants it. And then here it is. So I'm pretty sure Jeff saw the potential of this from the get-go, from day one. He's been frothing forever, trying to get everyone else on board. He's had that vision, and so we'll see where it goes. I mean, every time I see this stretch of coast, this is what I see. Empty waves. And there are spots that people ride. And even then, compared to spots not too far from here, this is empty. Break out the guns, get away from the crowds, have these amazing rides. And they're probably, that huge rush of making that sick drop and not knowing how it's going to go is, the heavy wipeout that comes with it. That just adds to the rush. In my experience, the bigger it is and the more scary and chances of eating it are, the more exciting it is. That's the appeal. That's what makes it so intense. I listened to Koa Smith talking about riding this same swell in Hawaii, about how, he just had to muster up the courage to show up and to see it and then to get out there, to actually paddle out and go out and take it on and all that, and just then to have, incredible rides and also, big wipeouts and all that comes with it. And then, the other option, the option I chose on this day is to go to the wraparound spot, the more protected spot, when it's big and heavy. And then a lot of other people have the same idea, it comes with the crowds. Unfortunately, as a foiler, there are spots that no one wants, that they see it as junky or too fat or whatever. And so it's, even on these days when there might be 50 people out, I can go around the corner and have, a little slice of wave surfing joy to myself. So there's all these choices and options on all these days. This is after we had that huge run of storms. And so all this sand got pushed around. And so there's this unbelievable sandbar that just formed out of nowhere. And it, on the big negative tide, there must have been 100 families out, 100 people and barbecuing and bonfires and kids hanging out. And for the first time, and I can remember how long you could actually walk down the stairs, even on a mid-tide, and the stairs would be dry. It's just trippy how there's always these options and possibilities and all kinds of flavors that we can all choose. And I suspect they're always out there. Just sometimes it takes, a huge swell to change everything around, to reveal it to us, to show us that there are options, and we can always find it if we just get out of that well-worn path and take a little detour and take on a new adventure. And when a friend calls and says, hey, we're going to go tow foil, to say, okay, and jump on it. So thanks for watching. I hope this is fun. And, YouTube has the super thanks option. So if you do that, that helps. Please like, share it around, spread it around. Come on over to a website, check out a membership or donate. It all helps, and hope to see you out there.